Before the flood, the world was radiant with beauty, yet man's heart slowly drifted away from his creator. Yet one man still walked apart from corruption, Noah, whose heart remained steadfast before the Lord.
Power and pride grew upon the earth, violence filled the hearts of men, and wisdom turned into folly. Every line he drew was guided by faith, each measure whispered by the spirit of divine order.
And the Lord spoke to Noah, saying, "Build a vessel, for I will cleanse the earth with water."
Yes, Lord.
God chose the cedar, not for strength alone, but because its fragrance would rise like prayer through the storm.
Faith was not built by one man alone. The covenant of work became the covenant of family.
We build not for pride, but for promise.
Every measure was revelation. Divine numbers echoed through the dust, teaching mankind the order of creation.
Each strike of the hammer was worship. Obedience became sound, and sound became salvation.
Father, the pitch holds strong.
As faith must, my son.
From the fire came the seal. Even in heat.
Faith begins where reason ends. Foundations unseen by men are the strongest walls before heaven.
The ark rose like a cathedral of obedience, every beam an echo of divine instruction.
300 cubits long, 50 wide, 30 high, kuai, each number a whisper of God's eternal order.
When mercy covers obedience, storms cannot destroy. The roof of faith shelters all beneath divine promise.
At the heart of the ark stood its spine, Nalust, not of wood alone, but of faith unbroken. The Lord taught him to shape the wind. Through narrow breath came the rhythm of life preserved.
Let it breathe, as all life must.
Every chamber was ordered by wisdom. God, who fed the sparrow, taught Noah to preserve creation's hunger. The wisdom of the Maker guided his hands. Even waste found its path, that no corruption dwell within salvation.
It is beautiful.
It is ready.
The breath of God moved through the valleys, calling every living creature to the refuge of obedience.
Welcome, creation of the Lord.
In tending the creatures, man served his first purpose again, proe, to guard, nurture, and honor life.
Creation obeyed its maker. The great and the small walked side by side, joined by the same salvation.
It is almost time.
The world still laughed, unaware the breath of heaven was changing. The mercy was closing.
And the Lord himself shut the door, sealing mercy within and judgment without.
There was a silence so deep, as if creation itself held.
The first drop fell like a tear from heaven, not in anger alone, but in sorrow for all forgotten grace. Forgive them, Lord.
Then the fountains of the deep were opened, and the sky wept without ceasing, as judgment covered the earth.
The deep broke open, and from beneath the mountains came rivers of judgment to meet the tears of heaven.
Water became the voice of God, mighty, relentless, proclaiming that holiness would not be mocked.
Father, it floats! By his promise, my son.
And the world became one ocean, where silence replaced the noise of sin.
Even in wrath, mercy remembered itself. A rainbow whispered through the storm before men could see it.
For 40 days and 40 nights the heavens poured without mercy, yet within, faith still burned.
Silence grew heavier than thunder, testing not the ark's walls, but the patience of the faithful.
Will it end?
When he wills it.
Beneath the waves the earth groaned, as if creation itself mourned the sons who forgot their father.
Your promise endures, O Lord. In the heart of the storm, their unity.
When the 40th night passed, heaven sighed, and peace began to remember the earth again.
The rain had ceased, but silence remained. The stillness where faith must learn to wait.
He marked the days not to measure time, but to remember that every moment belonged to God.
Each day, another mercy.
Then God remembered Noah, and the wind returned horned, the breath that would heal the wounded earth.
He promised life would begin again. In remembrance lies faith renewed.
And God caused the waters to retreat. Every wave bowed in obedience to the word of its creator.
Father, the mountains rise.
The earth remembers its maker. And the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat Daphane, a promise anchored upon the mercy of God. And Noah sent forth the dove, a prayer with wings, seeking rest upon the face of renewed earth.
When he opened the window of hope, the breath of new creation entered, cleansing the air of judgment.
The air is pure again.
Faith learns to wait longer than storms last, for only patience reveals the shape of God's promise. Sometimes heaven answers with silence, to teach that hope is trust before it is sight.
Then came the sound of wings, mercy returning from the silence, bearing news of peace.
The earth breathes again.
Heaven smiled upon the remnant of faith, a world washed, a covenant remembered, a promise reborn.
At the command of mercy, the waters bowed and fled. The ground of promise appeared once more.
The door once sealed by judgment opened now for renewal, where mercy led the way out of fear. Life walked forth from refuge, each step a hymn of restoration sung by the breath of creation.
It lives again.
And Noah built an altar to the Lord Seely, not to escape wrath, but to honor love that endures forever.
And the Lord smelled the fragrance of faith, not of sacrifice alone, but of obedience fulfilled.
Then God spoke from the brightness. Never again shall the waters destroy all flesh upon the earth.
In every color shone a promise eternal, mercy stronger than wrath, grace deeper than the flood.
And God set his bow in the cloud maim, a covenant of light between heaven and the children of dust. The bow of eternity stood above creation, a bridge of grace uniting the heart of God and man.
Plant with faith, not fear.
From the soil once drowned, faith sowed life again.
And God blessed Noah, saying, "Be fruitful and fill the earth," a command reborn from Eden's echo.
They ate not in luxury, but in gratitude. Every meal a remembrance that life was borrowed.
Under the stars he set as witness, Noah rested, knowing God's covenant now watched from every light above.
Years flowed like rivers beneath heaven's gaze, and Noah watched life multiply upon the land of mercy.
He called his sons and spoke wisdom, that their hearts might remember the covenant even when his voice was gone.
Honor the Lord.
And he blessed his sons, that they might carry faith as seed across the world reborn. Walk in peace, my sons. He taught them to read the heavens, not for signs of fear, but for memory of the promise that never fades.
And Noah slept, full of years and grace, his breath returning to the giver.
From the sons of the righteous came many nations, each bearing the echo of one man's obedience.
Shem carried the covenant eastward. From his seed would come those who remembered the voice of heaven.
Ham went south to lands of heat and plenty, carrying strength yet shadowed by pride.
Japheth journeyed north and west. His tents spread toward the sea. The Lord enlarged his borders.
The sons of Noah filled the world, and from their hands flowed nations.
And that night, heaven opened his spirit, showing what the eyes of men refused to see. He saw the heavens break open, the deep roar from beneath, and man's rebellion washed away in fire and rain.
Father, will they never learn?
The earth groaned beneath the weight of sin, and Hevel wept. Yet amid the flood, he beheld mercy, Hallis, a vessel of wood that would bear the covenant through the storm. The boy of faith became the voice of warning, crying to a world deafened by its own pride.
Repent before the waters rise.
Where is your storm, prophet?
Your father vanished in madness.
Yes!
Voiceover. But the hearts of men were stone,
He fell upon his knees and prayed that mercy might still find those who mocked his name. The ground murmured, rivers turned restless, and even the beasts fled lessy, yet man laughed still.
And he departed, grieved yet faithful man.
And the earth was filled with violence. Men devoured men, forgetting the voice that once called them to mercy.
The Watchers returned in secret, teaching forbidden arts.
Giants walked upon the land, mighty and merciless, born of corruption, the wrath of heaven's defiance.
The earth cried to heaven, its soil drenched in the blood of the innocent. The hour.
And the Lord remembered his covenant, stirring the heart of the old prophet to seek the one who still walked upright.
You are the promise fulfilled, and you are the voice that carried it.
The Lord will speak through your hands. The staff of Enoch passed again Tarth.
And heaven repeated its promise, that through one family, mercy would again rest upon the earth.
And Methuselah rested, knowing his days were complete tie. The covenant lived again in the hands of the faithful.
And the Lord spoke to Noah, saying, "Build for yourself."
And the Spirit showed him the pattern, width, height, and length, measured by divine wisdom.
Here begins the mercy of God. And upon that ground he set the first mark flea, where salvation would be built from obedience. And the trees fell like prayers, ches. Every strike of the axe a covenant carved into the living world.
May this wood endure the storm. Narrator. And the first beam rose toward...
Old fool! Where is your reign?
It will come when mercy ends.
For many years they labored, their hands bruised, yet their hearts unbroken. Father, the frame holds.
Then hold fast your hearts as well.
And his sons worked with him, bound not by fear but by faith, building what the world would soon need.
Beside him stood the woman of patience, whose faith steadied the hands that built salvation.
It is finished. And the Lord looked upon the work, and it was good, for obedience had found its reward.
Then heaven sent a sign, a flame of promise, marking the covenant sealed between God and his servant.
And the mockers were silenced, for the sign of heaven burned, where laughter once reigned. Thus the covenant lived again, from Enoch to Methuselah to Noah, carried by faith through generations. And behold, the first came Nepheg, the winged ones, bearing peace and shadow alike.
And the breath of the Lord went forth, calling every creature by name from the ends of the earth.
Even the smallest obeyed, for all creation remembers its maker, though men forget his voice.
And
And the Lord spoke once more, saying,
And the hearts of men trembled, for the beasts obeyed the word they had long despised.
From the children of mercy rose a generation of pride, who sought to reach heaven by their own hands. They baked their bricks in fire, but their hearts burned hotter, hardened against the word of the Lord.
They gathered in Shinar, saying, Let us build a tower that reaches the heavens, that we may be known.
What did you say?
I don't understand you!
And the Lord came down and confounded their speech, that pride might crumble before mercy's warning.
The old prophet wept again.
So they scattered, each tribe taking a path unknown, yet every step still beneath the same heaven.
Who are you? I cannot hear you!
From one voice came many, language divided, so that humility might guard against the return of arrogance.
The old righteous one beheld their scattering, knowing that even confusion served the design of redemption. The tower fell not by wrath alone, but by mercy, for pride left standing would destroy the soul.
From the house of Shem flowed the seed of remembrance, faith preserved through the quiet hearts of men.
Though tongues divide and nations wander, the bow of promise still shines. They built no towers, but altars, and in their humility the knowledge of the Lord endured. From Eber came the people who would cross, the Hebrews, bearers of the promise through exile and time.
And through Shem's line arose Abram Kophoth, who would believe again.
Here I am, Lord.
The voice that called one man to build an ark, now called a nation to bear his name.
Leave your land and kindred, said the Lord, and I will show you a place prepared.
He walked by faith, not by sight. Every step, a covenant written in the dust of obedience.
And God said, Look toward heaven, for so shall your descendants be.
From flood to faith, the promise endured, one covenant, one mercy, one unbroken line.
And the Lord spoke again, renewing his promise that the world would find blessing.
Faith was not words alone. It was written in flesh, sealed in blood, and remembered by generations.
So many stars.
Each one a promise.
As the stars above and the sand below, so shall be the descendants of faith and promise.
And the Lord appeared by the oaks of Mamre, mercy walking again among men who believed.
My Lord, do not pass your servant by. For 3 days they walked, each step a heartbeat of surrender, each breath a
From Enoch came the walk, from Noah the obedience, from Abraham the trust.
A river ran through time, carrying the covenant, unbroken, unstoppable.
The faith of one became the inheritance of all Kana, from hand to hand, as fire to flame.
And the Lord spoke once more, The just shall live by faith, and my light shall guide the generations.
And Enoch sat near the light eternal, a witness forever that faith conquers the dust of time.
He found his father's staff, not left behind, but given, a sign that faith never dies. And the light that took Enoch shone again, resting upon the Son who walked beneath his promise.
The Lord remembers.
He spoke not as a child, but as one who remembered heaven, calling men back to the covenant of truth.
Thus the Son carried his Father's faith, and heaven marked the lineage of light upon the generations.